It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Crowd is set again. Oh, John Boone.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the car.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenneth Walker! Touchdown! Spotty!
Goff's got it. Back, looks, throws, ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown on the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Wednesday morning to you. It is Hump Day. And it's also the first of the month. Congratulations. We've made it. It is March 1st, 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XP Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and now streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Drop.com on that. You can find our website, xbmornings@gmail.com, is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter or through Twitter, however you want to look at it. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are we today? How was your night last night? Staying up late, watching a little Sparty hoops on the road against the Children of the Corn. It was an exciting first half. Red Wings got...
Exciting's a word to use for that first half.
Red Wings got just bombarded at Ottawa. Oh, my goodness. What is happening over there? How are you guys this morning?
I'm good. Sorry, I'm trying to log in something so I can see our YouTube chat.
What's up, man?
I have to do it about once a week, but doing all right, you know. That was a gross first half, or as Izzo yelled into the mic in his post game, just guard somebody. Was his recap of the first half.
I like in the post game, I forget who is the analyst on set there for
Sean
BTN.
Morris?
Where he was like, I'm sure Coach Izzo said more than just guard somebody in the locker room. I thought I got a pretty good kick out of that. That was pretty good. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure he probably said a little bit more than that too. And to be honest with you, I was a little shocked with the way that game had started. Is like coming off of the Red Wings game. I was like, dude, are we going to do this in back-to-back days where every team that we have is just going to lose? Is that what's going to happen here? Because the Red Wings, I mean, started off 1-0. Kubalik scored. It was like, oh, yeah, all right, here we go. Come on. And then, change the channel. Dang, that was bad.
Just
no
gross.
other way to put it either.
Yeah, no, there's no other way to put it. And MSU, it's a good defensive team, and just that first half, they had cement in their shoes. Like, they just weren't moving their feet. They were letting everyone drive by and settling for long twos, which is always a great offensive strategy. It's like take 2 steps forward or 2 steps back. Like let's increase these percentages somewhere.
I mean, why you want to kill the mid-range, Ryan?
This isn't mid-range. This is heel on the 3-point line. Go for a mid-range shot. Please. Settle for mid-range. Settle for threes. Don't settle for a heel on the 3-point line, which that's all you took.
Yeah, that was a very, very interesting. But then you look at the halftime, you look at the adjustment, you look at the way they came out in the second half, in beating Nebraska in the way that they did. As a Spartan fan, you got to look at that and say, okay, all right, we survived in advance. That's the name of the game this time of the year. We're going to say that a lot here now that we have entered officially the month of March, so that's exciting. A couple of games left on everybody's schedule as we look forward to the Big Ten tournament, the Mid-American Conference tournament, starting up next week. So excited very much about that. Dan, did you have to work Red Wings last night?
I did. Yeah. I love work. That wasn't a good hockey game.
Oh, good.
Couple of bad performances. They like to play their game in spurts, but 95% of the game when they lose, they're just playing the other team's game.
Yeah,
I mean last night they do the same thing against the bigger teams. They refuse to use the body to get the puck into the offensive zone.
How was and I guess I'll probably ask this again or more of this coming up when we do our segment on the Red Wings, but how was, like, what was the crew talking about?
I think
off the air when it came
more
to
like
what they were seeing.
I think they were Murph was frustrated just because it got out of hand so quickly. You let up a shorty, a power play goal, a shootout goal, and was there an even strength goal in the same period, I think, for the first time in the Senators' history?
It's good to be a part of history. No?
Sometimes.
If you're the history maker?
Well, I mean, it could be bad history.
If you are not
people remember Mike Br0'z, not for a good reason.
Well, it's it was an interesting contest to say the least. There is no doubt about that. We're also going to get into a couple of Lions topics here a little bit later on. They made a hiring as a consultant when we talk about who might be re-signing with the club and what is the best move that Detroit never made. We'll get into that as well. John Wagner will join us, the old school Tiger scribe, baseball savant. Look, game times are faster. Sure. I mean, that Braves game had a little bit of a kerfluffle as far as, when are we going to give a guy, a strikeout because he is not paying attention to the clock. But look, there's penalties for there's penalties in all kinds of sports for not paying attention to the clock. You could get a shot clock violation. You could have a delay of game. You could have in hockey, I'm trying to think about what you could do with the puck that would, in order.
I mean, there's delay of game penalties for shooting it
over the glass.
Yeah, over the glass. That's called a delay of game.
Yeah, you could have that kind of penalty, and if you don't do things properly on the penalty kill, like for 2 minutes, you're going to be down a man. There's a man advantage in the sport. We've seen the delay of game penalty, and teams be forced to call timeouts all the time in football. Probably happens once a game. So players will get used to it, managers will get used to it. But I mean, it has been so far a really good thing for Major League Baseball during spring training.
I wonder if that pitch clock is running down, if you could use a mound visit to reset that clock.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can. But how many of those do you get?
You get 7.
I think it's
Is it
5, maybe
now?
7. You might be right about 7. That seems like a lot, but it might be.
So
is that per game or per pitcher?
Per game.
But if you use 2 on one pitcher in the same inning, they have to be pulled.
Yeah.
It's maybe we need to have a mound visit counter on the screen like we do with timeouts.
There is one on the scoreboards in ballparks.
But I mean, like on the television screen at home, put them up there like the timeout.
Well, you'll see it. You just probably The problem is you just don't know. It'll pop up there once in a while. It says MVR, mound visits remaining.
And by the way, Ryan dripped out in his Spartan swag this morning, huh?
It's kind of what I only have out right now. So,
it makes sense. We'll step aside. We'll come back. Tigers lost in their spring training game yesterday, a pretty common theme to start the season. We'll get into it next here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dan & Light and Fit, or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Br0's. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness, so be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from BeanGarter. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at BeanGarter. BeanGarter.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
all morning long on the Meyer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. So great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan. Look, I know that sometimes this can sound like a little bit Debbie Downer here. And you can join the program, text the keyword sports radio, send that to 21,000. Hit us up on the Meyer Supercenter guest line as well, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. Alan on YouTube said, good morning, y'all. Glad to be here again today. Glad to have you with us, Alan. Thank you for watching the show on our YouTube page. It is, sometimes I say it jokingly, but sometimes I actually mean it. And I want to say it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. We were looking at the Detroit Tigers schedule, and I asked when would be the first time that they would win a game. I know that sounds weird, but I think it's a legitimate question when you look at the fact that they start off their season on Thursday, March 30th against the Tampa Bay Rays on the road. Their next series is Houston on the road before they bring in Boston and then a road trip to Toronto, San Francisco, Cleveland. At some point, they got to win one of those, right? They have to win at least one of those games. Like
it's baseball, Anthony. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
They could win you just don't know. They could rattle off the first 6. You don't know.
That would be best case scenario. Sweep the first opening 2 series and completely change everybody's, or at least change my opinion about what's going to happen this season with the Detroit Tigers. But I saw something yesterday that I wanted to bring up when we talked about, they lost yesterday spring training 6-4, their third consecutive loss. They're now 1-3 on the season. And it said the Detroit Tigers just have a bunch. They've got 25 average guys on their team. And I thought about it, and I was like, it's kind of a bold claim. But really, we all know that, Miguel Cabrera is not – he today is different than what he was 5-10 years ago. We know that, right? We could visibly see that. Does he still have a little magic in him? Sure. Is he still fun to watch? Yes. Yeah, are we glad that he's out there? I'm sure some people do sometimes. But who's the guy that's jumping off the screen and you're saying, I mean, yes, we want to see what Manning and Turnbull and Erod and Boyd can do. Sure. But when you look at this lineup, 1 through 9 in the batting order, who's the guy that's jumping off the paper and you going, oh, man, watch out for this guy? Who is that? Who's the better than average player on this team?
Oh, Javi Baez.
Javi Baez. That's the guy. We hope.
No, he's despite the first half last year, he was better than average. By far last year. He was great in the second half.
I would agree with that. But he has also put together a couple of seasons where he's hit less than, 240. So does that make? So
that doesn't. Why? I mean,
but that's
average doesn't mean anything. I don't know what. Aaron Judge hit like 315 last year with 62 home runs. That's insane.
Yeah, he was disgusting last year. He had one of those non-replicable sort of years.
Javi he's above average. Riley Green will be top half of the league, hopefully. Spencer Torkelson, haven't seen your swing yet, but I hope it's somewhat level.
If Torkelson can just be average this year, that'd be a huge step in development. I think people got a little carried away of what they were expecting out of Torkelson last year.
Rookie of the year.
But Rookie of the Year can mean different things. I think people were expecting Aaron Judge numbers from Torkelson his rookie season. If we can go back and look, people were like, well, if he hits 30 home runs, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's kind of a stretch for a guy in his first.
Right. Like, honestly, I would have been okay if he came out, hit 240, 10, and 50.
Would you be okay if he would have hit 220?
Depending if the pop was there, depending what the slugging percentage was. As long as he wasn't Singlio.
That's great. I love that. All right, so we have Javi Baez, who with 147 strikeouts last year really took the wind out of my sails for Javi Baez. That and sometimes throwing the ball into the fourth row. I was like, I guess this is what we thought we were going to get, but maybe we're going to get like a better version of some of these wild inconsistencies. Cubs fans were like, yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch, but man, it's kind of a handful. So maybe if Javi Baez can put together relatively close to an entire season, and maybe he doesn't strike out 8,000 times. Maybe Spencer Torkelson, if he finds his bat. Okay. Riley Green?
Austin Meadows is a good player. Last year, the mental health thing, being traded 3 days before the season.
Achilles injury.
Yeah. Getting the vertigo. He'll be better. 25 home runs or whatever he hit the previous season. I don't know. They did. Although we are like 35 days from a game at Comerica Park, I haven't seen one word about the construction. I remember they showed the lights being installed. I haven't heard anything about the wall or anything. Have you guys?
Have not. Haven't seen
nothing.
Haven't seen even like a story. Like I would have figured Brad Galley would have been out there, like in the hedges, or Dan Miller would have popped in via helicopter, and they would have given us like some sort of like, hey, here's an update on what the walls are looking like. Here's the crew working. We talked to so and so. They tell us about the construction and what's that mean for the seating. Boom, there's another interview little piece right there, a little snippet, if you will. Nothing. Haven't heard boo. Haven't heard anything about
Maybe they want it to be like a big
surprise,
like unveiling, like, hey, everybody shows up at opening day and sees it, something like that.
That could be. And if they did a really good job and it looks nice, then maybe that'll be a small little win for the organization early on in the season. Because I just I saw that and I wondered to myself, like, who is the guy that you're taking off this team that you're immediately plugging into a playoff contender and making that team better? Like, who's going to be?
Oh, I'm Alex Lang.
That
if
guy.
You want to talk about arms, yeah. Alex Lang is top 20 reliever in the league. He was last year.
I was looking more at the just the lineup 1 through 9, but our pitching should give us a chance.
If they're healthy, yeah. The
should.
Eduardo Rodriguez, Spencer Turnbull, Bo Brisky. I mean, Casey Mize probably won't be ready. Tarek Skubal's not going to be ready. Who's the other one? There's another young pitcher.
Michael Lorenzen?
Oh, we'll see about
he's
Lorenzen.
a little veteran presence, maybe in that 5 spot. I don't know. But you think with Manning, you think with Erod, you think with Turnbull. You have Boyd. You have Alex Lang, who you mentioned. Like, okay, all right. Like maybe they'll give us a chance. Maybe. I know that like people like Freddie have called in, and some of our listeners excited to see the kids. I mean, yeah, excited to see the kids last year. We saw how that worked out. One thing we saw last night, we saw how it worked out. The Red Wings, in 2 of the most important games of the season, have failed miserably in Ottawa. We'll talk about it next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
The new M-Perks is here. Reward yourself with dollars off your purchases, fuel rewards, and more at Meijer. Earn 10 points on nearly every dollar you spend when you shop in-store or on Meijer.com. Then use your points to claim and redeem rewards any way you want. Plus, earn points for every qualifying prescription filled at your Meijer pharmacy. Download the Meijer app to sign up, or if you're already using M-Perks, start earning points and saving today. Save more with M-Perks. Exclusions apply. See Meijer.com to learn more.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online. BeanGarter.com. Bean Garter.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Network, great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, good morning. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. We encourage you. Join the program. Text the keyword sports radio. You know what to do. Holler at us. Share your thoughts. What an awful, awful game it was last night for the Detroit Red Wings. What started off as a pretty good game early on, Kubalik with an absolute snipe. They caught Ottawa on the change. They went up 1-0, feeling pretty good. And then a guy, they refer to him as Himothy, which I think is funny because they always refer to him as Timmy on their Twitter. Timmy's at Stutzel.
It's like Stutzel?
Yeah, he's got an umlaut, so you think it'd be an oo. I don't know.
It's a very
it's a strange name.
Yeah,
they call him Himothy though because that's what all the kids say.
He's him.
He's him. I'm him. I watch Imani Bates yell, "I'm him" at Toledo, and then go on to lose by 20. Hey, they lost by 20 last night on the road at Bowling Green too. By the way, go ahead.
That like zone entry pass that they did they did it in the first game against Ottawa, where the guy is like coming off the bench and skating backwards into the zone, and as he's getting the entry pass, and Kubalik scored on it. That play works great. But then after that, when you just say you're not going to move the puck into the zone, they just got bodied. It was ugly.
Yeah, Ottawa's not. They're not bums. That much is for sure. They give up the penalty shot, and within moments of it being 1-0 Red Wings, I mean, I think it was like the 12-minute mark. It was like 4 minutes later. It was 2-1 in favor of Ottawa, and they just never looked back. And Detroit, I mean, you could tell the wind got kind of taken out of their sails a little bit. We had Br0's getting hit by a puck because why wouldn't he? It's just it's that time. I want to be traded, don't want to be traded here. Just take another puck. He was a -2 on the game, got in a fight. That's always good. Kubalik's the highlight of this story. Everybody else, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I mean, they for the second consecutive game. There you go. Like if you needed some sort of example or something on film to tell you how you're going to beat this team, that's how you do it. You just play a little rough with them. And as we said yesterday, Bertuzzi's going to try to respond. The guy's broke both of his hands this season. He's probably not the guy you want out there fighting. He's the only guy that's really going to do it. It's a it's not a good situation.
He ate one. I don't know if you saw the fight. He absolutely ate one and kept on going in that fight.
You have to. You got that is. I just. Boy, great poll question there, Ryan. Great poll question there. I look at this team, and they gotta have their roster needs something else. Like they need something else here. And if you thought hey, playoff push, we're gonna be buyers. I mean, this is disgusting right now that I feel like we're riding this roller coaster, but this is life on the fringe of the playoffs where
they're not. They'll be sellers. Sorry.
They're gonna have to, right? They're gonna have to move on. There's no way that they can. That little run that they had is not sustainable.
Well, Murph was talking about it on the pregame yesterday. He said, from this point forward, you have to win 2 out of 3. They've already lost 2 in a row, So that makes you got to win 4 out of the next 5. And they lost last night. So now it's even worse than that.
Yeah, and even before Murph said that, we're now at 3 consecutive losses.
Yeah.
After
right.
Right, after that stretch in which they won 5 and 7 out of 8, and you're like, okay, all right, like we're moving right along here. 7 out of 8 ain't bad.
Remember last week, it was at 19.6 according to Money Puck.
Oh yeah, where'd it drop to?
2.6 now.
Jeez Louise.
As of this morning.
I mean, that's like, that's a sell if I've ever seen. Oh my. Well, actually, you know what? No, now's the time to buy. The stock's that low. It fell off a cliff. I mean, it's like buying dog coins or whatever right now. I mean, just plummeting.
Hey, mine's still there.
You still got dog coins?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't know if I have what was the other one? Was it Doge? No, I think it might have been Doge that like took off there for a few weeks and everybody liked. I don't remember.
To the moon.
There was one I have.
They were saying to the moon. The only thing that'll cripple that altogether will be when the central banks announce their own digital currency and they'll wipe all those coins out. They won't stand a chance, but it'll happen eventually. It's just the banks weren't ready to be able to handle digital currency at the time, but it's coming. There's no doubt about that. Like it's going to happen. It's going to replace paper money. The whole thing's going to be a sham. I hope I'm dead by that time. But they're going to take on the Seattle Kraken Thursday, the New York Islanders on Saturday, the Philadelphia Flyers on Sunday. And for a moment in which, I mean, if you could turn back time to last Thursday and how excited I was. Here we go, baby. Meaningful games in the month. Like, this is what it means. Like, this is what we're playing for. To come out like that in 2 of the most important games. You lose 3-0 to Tampa Bay, but you played really well, so I'm okay with it. It's Tampa Bay. But games that you got to win back-to-back in somebody else's barn, and you just folded like a wet blanket. I mean, it was – here's Coach Lalone afterwards with Trevor T.
All right, John, this one turned around in a hurry for the Red Wings here tonight. News, you take a 1-0 lead, and then Kubalik gets a coincidental minor when a guy skates into your celebration huddle. Then they get a shorty and a penalty shot. Just how did things go from there, and how much did that impact the outcome?
I just think special teams on a whole, unfortunately, it deflated us. Obviously, a pretty good start to get up 1-0. And then the special team, we went 0 for 8, but we lost momentum off it, too. And it just took us out of our game. 5-on-5 game, okay. But again, lost special teams, and we gave them easy offense. Something we haven't done all year is the breakaways, the odd mans. We've taken a lot of pride in that as a group, and we got away from that probably over the last 2 games.
Some are talking about an opportunity lost. How do you frame this for the guys?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think, we looked at it. I give the guys a little credit, the fact that about 11 games ago, they put a number on what it would take us to get back in. It was 9-3. And if we can get Thursday, we're 8-4. We're still just 1 off that. So obviously, of course, a missed opportunity, especially the way we've been playing of late, where we were in the standings. But it goes back to what got us into this race. We just need to take care of our game, and that's something we did not do in this past 48 hours.
To your point about,
it's good to know that the NHL as well as the ECHL is on the same page, where it's like, hey, let's make sure we have an interview space set up in a hallway somewhere to where we can we can just make sure that people are just packing stuff up and doing God knows what in the background of the coaches and players interviews. Like that's fantastic. He is right. Put a number like you said, put a number on the board. Needed to be 9-3. If they win on Thursday, they're 1 off of that. They know the pressure's on. They get it. You have the next 3 are going to be on Bally Sports before TNT takes over on the 8th for the game against Chicago, and the ESPN Plus against the Bruins on the 11th.
And then back on TNT on the 12th.
Got some nationally televised games. Who doesn't love that? I need more. I need more guys that are willing to. I don't know. I don't know the best way to kind of say this, but it feels like this team lacks something. And I can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's not exactly the guy, but an Anthony Mantha person. Just a big Michael Rasmussen is who they're missing right now. A big they need a big, strong forward. Michael Rasmussen was playing that role. He's been out the last 3 games.
Yeah, bad time to get injured. They definitely need. They're going to need something else at some point on the blue line. The big announcement yesterday was that that Wallman got signed. Average annual value of his contract is going to be less than $4 million. So it feels like that's a pretty good get. This is a really good message they got sent to me, and I'm going to read this. And this is somebody that knows Lalone pretty well. I think he knows he's got 20 guys on their own agenda right now. Is that what this team is missing? Is that what the Red Wings, is that what they don't have as a collective group, the sum more than the parts? And if you are missing that, if you are missing guys that are everybody kind of at their own pace, their own speed, with their own goals and thoughts, if it's not paramount, then you have to find some glue guys.
Yeah, I love it. Anthony, last week we were talking about how great this team looked, and they were every pass was tape to tape, and the power play was great, and the penalty kill was great. 3 losses in a row. Blow it up. They need 8 new guys.
No. I don't know about blow it up. Yeah, welcome. I mean, right? I mean, this is you're in a playoff push. This is the closest thing we have to Lions season, where every game it's like, fire everybody, get him out of here. They threw a pick, right? The offensive coordinator's got to go. This coach he's a culture guy. He doesn't know anything about football. And then the very next week they win. And it's like, oh my God, it's craziness.
They play for him. Oh my gosh, can you believe it?
Yeah, it's nutty. But I think that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. Do they have, who's the glue guy here? Who's it going to be? And health plays a role in this too. The minute one guy comes into this lineup, somebody else is leaving with an injury.
Are you saying who is the Jamal Williams of this team?
I don't know if Jamal Williams was going to be the hockey.
You said glue guy.
Yeah, the hockey comparison for it. But yeah, sure. Who's going to be the guy that the team is going to, when they speak up, everybody listens, and when they play, people kind of feed off of.
Oh, they have that already. They absolutely have that in David Perron, Ben Sherratt. They have those guys. I'm talking the energy guy. The Chris Draper, the Pat Verbeek type guy.
The Jamal Williams. Coming with that big smile. As a kooky Kazkazke or whatever he said. What did he say?
I don't know.
Something kamikaze there at the end. 3 straight losses. And it's not about necessarily the actual, that saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not really how you lose, it's who you lost to. And the Tampa loss, okay, but Ottawa, you knew going there on Sunday what was at stake. You knew this. And you took that opportunity and you allowed them to basically jump you in the standings and to be on the doorstep of the playoffs to now, middle of the pack. You're still only 5 points out of the second wild card. Only 6 points out of the first wild card. And that first wild card spot, the New York Islanders, who is coming up on your schedule, they have 4 games in hand to you. They played 64. You've played 60. right? You got some wiggle room. But once again, Detroit Red Wings, you have Seattle and then a road trip to New York. Like, circle that. Saturday, 12:30 against the New York Islanders. That's a playoff game. These were playoff games right here against Ottawa. That was the level of importance. And just god awful. God awful. And disappointing. I feel for Coach Lalonde there. I really do. Because he has sounded at times after losses, he has sounded more dejected than I've heard him in a long time. But this is,
and I was just thinking, like, it doesn't. I named two forwards. It doesn't even have to be like that. Mo Seider last year, every shift, it felt like he did something great, didn't it?
Oh,
every
yeah.
shift,
He would
it was
get
like,
the puck. He would receive
cow,
a pass.
this guy.
He'd receive a pass, and people would be, oh, did you see that?
Where is he?
I don't know. Sophomore slump? Lucas Raymond, same way? Like, just sophomore slump? Just production not
like
there?
When Seider had the puck, it was just like they're in control of the game. It was, when Nick Lidstrom had it, it was like, well, they're not going to take it from Nick Lidstrom. He's not going to turn it over. That's how you felt with Mo Seider. Like, oh, here comes a rush because Mo's got the puck. Now it's just nothing. No offensive push whatsoever from this team.
Yeah, it's a very difficult spot that this team finds themselves in, and they know it. We're not saying anything they haven't talked about. I mean, I'm sure that somebody wanted to break a stick over their knee going into that locker room because there are times where, watching the game last night, if you've played hockey, you know what that feels like when you're just getting bombarded out there, and you know what it's like to be on the other side where it's like, we can't be stopped right now. It doesn't matter who's out there. Like, we are the better team, player for player, top to bottom. We are going to do whatever we want, and no one's going to stop us. There are days you walk out there and you feel absolutely invincible the minute your skates hit the surface. And then there are other days like last night where it just feels like somebody's just chasing you around with like a, when you used to stuff a sock inside of another sock, like if you balled up a sock and you put it in a tube sock, you know what I'm talking about? And you'd make like a device,
a mail or a mace. They're called a mace. A mace with your socks.
A mace with your sock. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
There are other days. There's some days you step on the surface and you're invincible. There's other days where somebody's chasing you around with your sock mace and they're just hitting you and you can't, like your older sibling is beating you to a bloody pulp and you can't do anything about it. That was one of those days. Like fetal position, we got to cover up Philly shell or whatever your style of defense is. You're backed into the corner. You have to survive until the bell hits and get to the next round. And sit down on the stool and figure out what's going on. That stool's coming up Thursday against our guy, Everett Fitzhugh and the Kraken. Hour number 2 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan for the one close to you. And to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dan & Light & Fit or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you right along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. Pleasure to have you riding along with us. Thank you for being a part of the show. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and of course, good morning to our television audience as well, BCSN, and streaming live on our YouTube page, Michigan Sports Network, add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AAC Bellino. Elite goaltender is a must and need an enforcer. 1,000% have to sell now. That's Alan on YouTube. They need Stamkos and other guys Yzerman inherited when he took over Tampa. More Steve Yzerman slander. You guys crack me up this morning. I didn't know if we said anything funny. I didn't know anything was. I didn't know what did we say that was a joke? I got a joke for you, Ryan is, all I could picture is the little troll with the pink hair. That's all I can think of this morning when I think of Ryan Elke. Poll question of the day. The Pistons can take a flyer on one player. Listen to what Ryan has concocted for you. He's like a mad scientist. He's got his lab coat on. He's got the Einstein hair. His glasses are low, down on his brow, right above his nose. You know, he's got the beakers going with the tubes and everything. There's a lot of smoke, a lot of fog in the laboratory. This is what he's cooking up today. Pistons taking a flyer on one player. Who you taking? Imani Bates or Antoine Davis?
It's a pretty simple answer.
Really?
Yeah, the guy who makes buckets.
Which one is that?
Antoine Davis.
Oh, my goodness.
Antoine Davis is everything Imani Bates was supposed to be at Eastern.
Well, I don't know. I don't, local guy. I don't want to take anything away from him going after Pete Maravich. You know, that Maravich's scoring record he did in, 3 years because he shot 40 times a night. Antoine Davis in his fifth year.
Similar styles of play. They're both very me-type players.
Yeah, one has the ultimate green light. They both do, to be honest with you. Antoine seems to fill it up at a higher percentage. I just I don't know. And
then taking personalities to account.
Oh, yeah, it's tough to really evaluate because Detroit Mercy is all Antoine Davis. Eastern Michigan's tough to evaluate because they don't even run offense. They really don't even run offense.
Neither do the Pistons. That's perfect.
As I refresh my Twitter, dude casually loaded his pistol and executed a homeless guy in broad daylight in St. Louis. And somebody has this on video. I just looked over to the screen because I went from the poll question to the home screen, and wow, that is not what I expected to see at 7:05 this morning. Great to hear from our good friend Buckeye Spartan checking in. Brutus Sparty at Buckeye_Spartan on Twitter. I thought that he had his tweets locked. Apparently, he unlocked his account. He was responding to, poor Ryan, Central Michigan Chippewas last night. I mean, my goodness, they just got absolutely bamboozled by Toledo. I mean, Toledo was, everything they were running last night was working. I mean, there was no stopping anything that Toledo wanted to do.
Does that mean Toledo's better than Michigan now?
That's what Brutus Sparty said. He said, so Toledo greater than Michigan. I thought that, wow, that's pretty interesting. Don't read my response to that. But I did ask him about his getting shelled on Twitter over some piping hot takes in regards to U of M and Mozzie Smith. But I'm just glad to see him back. Glad to see him back on the troll train. That's what we like to see. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Here's an interesting one from North Carolina. They've hired ex-Br0's head coach. You remember Freddie Kitchens? He's been hired as an assistant at UNC. So good for him. Nate Oates is taking the blame for Brandon Miller's TSA intro. Now, I don't think it's you try to cover it up. We all know what it is. I don't think that TSA has anything to do with it. The transportation safety. I don't think that has anything to do with it. He's getting patted down. That's what it is. I can't. It's like when TSA checks you before you get on a plane, and now Brandon's cleared for takeoff. The only time you ever get patted down at TSA is when you go through the little microwave machine and the thing spins, and they see that there's something on you that they need to pat you down. And a lot of the times it's just the machine itself. Like I don't understand how anybody's buying that. I'm not buying it. Alabama messed up, and they went for what's more important to them, and that's winning basketball games. That's the God's honest truth. I mean, they don't. That's what it is. They would have nipped this in the bud immediately, but they didn't. Red Wings lose last night 6-1 in their second consecutive loss on the road against the Senators. They're back in action Thursday against Everett Fitzhugh and the Seattle Kraken. How about the New York Rangers have landed Patrick Kane from the Blackhawks? And just an end of an era there. They get a conditional 2023 second rounder and a 2025 fourth rounder. The 2023 second rounder will become a first rounder if the Rangers make the Eastern Conference Finals. However, that pick would be in 24 or 25. Those are the conditions around that. LeBron James expected to reassess in 2 weeks. It was seen on the bench last night with a boot on his foot. The Mavs' Kyrie Irving said he needs to scale back the pressure that he is putting on himself. They lost 124-122 to the Indiana Pacers. Marks the fourth time in 5 games. Irving has played alongside Luka, and the Mavs lost, with all those defeats coming by one possession. Interesting. Something to keep your eyes on. Nikola Jokic is the 6th player with 100 career triple-doubles. Russell Westbrook leads that list. You know how I feel about that with 198. Oscar Robinson, the Big O, with 181. Magic has 138. Jason Kidd with 107. LeBron James with 106. And now Nikola Jokic with 100. He had 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists for an NBA-leading 24 triple-doubles this season. It is 15th in the last 20 games. The stat, it's convoluted. I'll put it that way. That's how I feel about that.
He's an MVP. The triple-double doesn't mean anything. Just the guy puts up numbers every game. He's insane.
You got to win, though.
They do win.
No. They haven't won on the biggest stage. They have not yet.
Oh, well.
They need to win. He needs to win. It needs to happen. The Bengals on T. Higgins trade rumors said, find your own wide receiver. I like that response there. The Buccaneers are going to release running back Leonard Fournette. See you later. Happy trails, as they like to say. Pardon the interruption. The Seahawks are considering drafting a quarterback amid positive Geno Smith talks. Will they take a QB early here in the first round? The Titans general manager is excited about moving forward with Ryan Tannehill. Good luck there. The Dolphins have yet to make a call on Tua Tagovailoa's fifth-year option. And last one here for you, the Eagles and others defending this quarterback push tactic as the NFL is going to reconsider a rule. Look, just shove them to the ground every play. You got to play within the rules. If that's what you can do, you got to hit quarterbacks. And in 2005, the NFL removed language from the rule book that prohibited pushing a ball carrier forward when it comes to the offensive side of things. That's what they want to do. Defensively, hit the quarterback every chance you get. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Br0's. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness, so be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Br0's. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Br0's. BeanGarter.com.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dan & Light & Fit or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us. Boy, Terry, I know Terry was upset yesterday. He tweets into the show last night. I had the game on in the third period, turned into background noise while I did other important things. Sad but true. Terry, what were you doing that was important at that hour of the night? What are you up to over there, Terry? That's what I want. What is Terry doing that's it's so important that it's taking place at that hour of the night? Is he Batman? They put the signal out in the sky? My goodness. All right, you know what time it is, man. It is hour 2. It is segment 2, which means it's time for Detroit Lions Trivia. Oh, baby. Wait, I'm telling you what, we're really stuck on 2020 in this one, huh? Jeez Louise. Well, tough season. Who was the only Lions player to intercept a pair of passes in the 2020 season? 2020. Just sound like Tweety Bird over here.
I'll let Ryan go first.
Quandre Diggs.
That's who I was going with.
How about Deron Harmon?
I would have not gone with Deron Harmon.
Ryan's reaction. Oh.
No.
Maybe I'll get a little preview of what's to come. Yeah, tomorrow's a little different.
2019?
No, tomorrow we're gonna turn back time a little bit, which is good. If it's not 2020, it's like 1936. We got to find some, like, did anything happen between 1960 and 1985? We just get something in that
Definitely
range.
not in the 60s and 70s. Nothing.
Nothing happened. Nothing newsworthy. Nothing that you could just come up with a fact. There wasn't somebody who, like, served in Vietnam that played for the team. Like, there's nobody that had their own roofing company or somebody's dad struck oil. Like, that's crazy. Nothing. Won a Nobel Peace Prize. Apparently not. Hey, get some action. Get on our poll question as well at XB Mornings. Excited about that one to see what the results are. Who would you rather have the Pistons take a flyer on if presented the opportunity? Imani Bates from Eastern Michigan or Antoine Davis from Detroit Mercy, who is just 26 points away from Pete Maravich's NCAA scoring record. How am I slandering Iserman? You asked what this team needed, and I said Stamkos and others he inherited in Tampa. They need stars here, not okay players. Stars win games. Okay players get ties. Facts. You got to stop signing your stuff, FAX, bro. Come on, Freddie. You got to stop with that.
But happy birthday to Freddie.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because I'm a good person, Anthony.
Oh, so it makes me a bad person? Well,
Yeah.
then I won't go.
You're just sitting there besmirching him on his birthday.
I won't besmirch him on his birthday. But yeah, we could see the slander, but the little dig there about the inherited in Tampa, we get it. I understand. I can read through the lines. But a little happy birthday for you for the Beatles, for Freddie. Congratulations, Freddie. Turns 45 today. Well, that's exciting. Hope it's a good birthday for you, Mr. Freddie. I wonder what he's got planned. What's the wife have planned for you tonight? It's a Wednesday, so middle of the week. Got to work tomorrow. Oh man, tough birthday to celebrate on a Wednesday night.
I mean, we're guys. Do we really care to sell? Like, it's like, yeah, I'll go out to a dinner. I don't need, like, women are at least a week for their birthday, if not a month.
Oh,
they're celebrating.
Yeah, it's a look. It's birthdays as a guy are interesting. I've never been big on my own birthday. I've had a couple of times where somebody's done something real nice on my birthday, and I've really appreciated that. But as far as like a giant like group celebration or something like that, I don't know. For me, it's one more year around the sun. Think about it like this. Like when you hit your birthday, are you completing that year? So Dan, how old are you, for example? 38?
30.
24?
31. I will
31.
be 32 in 10 days.
You're already 32. So think about it like this. When you turn a year old,
I'm 1 year old.
You are 1 year old, but you've already completed the first year of your life. So when you turn 10, you've completed 10 years of your life. When you turn to 34, you've already completed 34 years of your life.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel older?
Does it? No. You're trying to say
you're not 34 right now.
We look at it as we're 32 in 0 days until we're 33 instead of looking at it like we're 31 and 364 days until the next. I know what you're saying.
I had this discussion on like the playground when I was in the 3rd grade. Like, are you really like a year older? Gosh, taking me back.
We'll trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
So Dan has already you've already completed 34 years of life.
No, he hasn't.
In 10 days, I will have.
You've already completed 33 years of life.
No. 32. I will be 32.
You're going to be 32.
Yes. He'll be completing his 32nd year.
Yes. 32nd year and 9 months.
Dan's already completed 48 years of life.
It feels like it.
Now I'm gonna be confused on when your actual birthday is and how old you.
311. The band. It's easy.
Oh, you're 311. That's awesome. Austin Bowman said Dan is in his 32nd year of life. That's right.
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow. Man. My mom was like 35 for a solid decade. So I still struggle with, because I was lied to for so long, I have a hard time really actually figuring out how.
I don't understand how people don't. Maybe because I grew up like my mom worked at home. I was kind of in charge of like helping the family with stuff when I was a kid. So I would like go and pick up my grandma's medication, get medication if my mother needed it. So how do you not know your mom's birthday? Just because I just know my mom's birthday from doing that stuff when I was a kid.
Date of birth, yes, but year, because she was 35 for so long that I've just spent an entire decade being confused.
You don't know the year your mother graduated high school.
Are we trying to give out security questions?
I'm
here?
just saying,
yeah,
like,
exactly, Dan.
I'm just saying, like, how do you not know? You don't know these things?
Now
No.
I gotta think back now. Now I gotta think back.
I do not. My parents are just, like Anthony said, they're 35 years old. My grandma's been 55 for 3 decades. They don't age. Only I do.
Thank you, Ryan. Do your parents still look the same to you in your eyes as they did when you were a child?
Of course.
My mom looks younger.
So I referred.
I'm not joking.
A customer had a question. I said, "Yeah, just go see the blonde woman in the office. Just asked her." And so the customer walks up to the office, and my mom no longer has blonde hair. Her hair is gray. I don't see it that way because I know in my mind what my mom looks like.
Well, every day you also see your mother a lot. Not
she's
every
gray,
day.
Bro. She's gray, bro. She's gray. There's she's
I've
not blonde
seen. I know what your mom looks like. I'm saying you see your mom every single day, most days. You at least
a lot. I do see a lot, which is good.
Lately, especially. So you don't see the change.
No. And the lady walked up and she went to the office. She said, well, you're not blonde. Said that to my mom. And she goes, excuse me? And she goes, yeah, the guy in the back told me to come up front and look for the blonde.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, how about that fire? We'll step aside. John Wagner joins us next. MLB's got a pitch clock. That lady might be on a pitch clock for her shopping hours at Danny's Fine Foods. We'll be back after this here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
The new M-Perks is here. Reward yourself with dollars off your purchases, fuel rewards, and more at Meijer. Earn 10 points on nearly every dollar you spend when you shop in-store or on Meijer.com. Then use your points to claim and redeem rewards any way you want. Plus, earn points for every qualifying prescription filled at your Meijer pharmacy. Download the Meijer app to sign up, or if you're already using M-Perks, start earning points and saving today. Save more with M-Perks. Exclusions apply. See Meijer.com to learn more.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Br0's. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness. So be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Br0's. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Br0's. BeanGarter.com.
I say that, because I want to be home sooner rather than later. I think it's a better product for the fan base, for the fans. I can tell you from experience right now with my kids. They're playing soccer, they're playing baseball, they're doing gymnastics. And in order is 1A, 1B, 3. And it's baseball. And they love it, they like it, but they take ground balls and then you go in the back of the line and it takes forever. I hate to say it because, I want them to love the game. They love it, whatever, but I would love them to play it. But this is where we at, and there's sports out there that they're more fun because there's not dead time, when they go to a soccer practice, it's nonstop. When they go to gymnastics, imagine jumping around all over the place and doing all that stuff. And then when you go to baseball practice, it's hitting, it's fielding, but there's a lot of dead time, and I think that's what we're trying to avoid. The pace has been amazing. Obviously, there's a few things that we still have to work, and we got 27 more days or whatever it is to get to where we want to. But for the game, for where we want to go, no doubt about it, this is the right thing.
Alex Cora sharing his sentiment about the brand new pitch clock instituted at the Major League Baseball level. We welcome you back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Galen, Brian Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining us now. He covered the Detroit Tigers minor league system for a couple of decades. Our good buddy John Wagner. Find him on Twitter, John Wagner Media. Johan, my friend, good morning to you. Alex Cora, soccer, they're moving gymnastics, they're moving baseball. You take a couple of ground balls, you go to the back of the line, you stand around, you hit. Is the pitch clock, is this a good thing for MLB?
Anthony, first of all, good to have you. Thanks for having me on the game. I'm a little slice of heaven. Thank you very much. I'm going to talk very fast because we need to make this go faster is what I'm hearing. Am I hearing this right?
Well, not faster, you, right? John. You don't have to go faster. We're, our listeners are in the car. They're hanging out. Maybe they're at the office. Maybe they're watching us on BCSN or streaming on YouTube, or they have us on the iHeartRadio app, or maybe they're listening at MichiganSportsNetwork.com. Let me just plug everything while we're here. It's not about us going faster, but it is about the length of the game. I mean, my sentiment when it comes to college football. That game has just gotten far, far, far too long. It's way out of hand. College basketball has gotten too long. The NBA has gotten too long. The NFL has figured this thing out, and the National Hockey League, they got a pretty standard schedule as well. But for Major League Baseball, the game without a clock, instituting a clock at this level to be able to speed up the pace of play, I think is a good thing to keep more people engaged.
I disagree with that. I think an exciting game will keep people engaged. Now, the question is what makes a game exciting? And let me go back for a second, Anthony. I heard Alex Cora talking about you take a grounder and you go to the back of the line, and it's boring. I get that, but that's on the coach. That's not on the sport. Why do we only have one line? Let's have 4 stations in the infield. I don't know. Let's call them, I'm spitballing here, Anthony. So
Stations of the Cross.
No, easy. Lent has just started. That's still a few weeks away.
Okay.
Here's the stations I have in mind. Let's call one first base. Okay, just a spitballing here. We'll call one second base. We'll call one third base. And you know what? Let's have a 4th station. We'll call it something between second and third. We'll think of a name here, okay? Let's have 4 lines and have 4 batters hitting ground balls to people. Won't that speed you up? If you have 20 kids on your team, you're taking a ground ball every 5th guy. If there's only one ground ball line, you're taking it every 20th guy. And yeah, a lot of standing around. There are ways to speed up a practice like that and make it more exciting for kids. I mean, frankly, Alex has not watched a lot of practices, apparently. Aren't there a lot of times where if you only have one basketball line during basketball games, which is supposedly this exciting sport where you're standing there waiting for your turn in line. Hockey, because as much action as anybody, a lot of line standing. Hey, in football, if you're playing offense and the defense is on the field, you could be off the field for 5-6 minutes, maybe even more. So I totally I think that is very misleading, talking about the practice being exciting. Okay, but let's set that aside because you're talking about games, not practices. Alex was talking about practice. I think hopefully I've debunked that. Let's talk about the game for a second. Yeah, baseball can seem to not have a lot going. If you're watching the back and forth between a good pitcher and a good hitter, it's fascinating stuff. To me, watching that kind of thing, especially good pitchers and good hitters and good teams, it was fascinating. Games went by in a heartbeat. You know, if you're up in the stands waiting for your next burger or your next hot dog or, you know, waiting for the beer vendor to come around and, oh, hey, something happened on the field. Yeah, it can seem boring. Having said all that, I get that the pitch clock speeding up the game. The number that I saw per the Washington Post, average time of the first 19 spring training games this year, 2:36. The average time of spring training games in 2022 was 3 hours and 1 minute. So, yeah, they're speeding up the game by half an hour. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. Now, if I might, Anthony, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you worry about the pitch clock causing batters or pitchers to lose important balls or strikes or games to be decided by the pitch clock like we saw real early in spring training? I think it was Braves and Orioles where, it was a very exciting moment in the game and they called a strikeout on a batter without a pitch being thrown because of the pitch clock. Are you worried about this deciding game?
I am not because I watch shot clocks ruin good possessions. It happens. We work against the clock all the time. I see a play clock run down and an offense have to call a timeout and burn a timeout that they're going to need later on in the game potentially because they couldn't get the play in on time. I watch penalty kill clocks force a team to play a man down for X amount of time. And the Red Wings could just give up. They give up shorthanded goals like crazy because of it. So, for me, I'm not worried about it at all, affecting the outcome of a game. It just, for me, we know the rules that are in front of us and how they've been laid out and detailed and what is to be, accepted and what is not. Like the 30-second timer between batters. Between pitches, you get 15 seconds with the bases empty, 20 with runners on, and the new rule states the batters must be in the box and alert to the pitcher by the 8-second mark of the pitch clock. So get in the box, get ready, be attentive, and here we go. Quit standing around itching yourself and adjusting your gloves, spitting on your hands, and rubbing your head, and adjusting your wire underneath your jersey, Jose Altuve, or listening for the trash can. Let's go. Get it moving. Throw the ball.
Hey, it's funny. You mentioned the wire. I want to come back and ask you something about that in a minute. But I want to just affirm that I agree with you on this. Batters are going to adjust. Pitchers are going to adjust. If I remember the stat from last year in AAA, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, the number of these balls or strikes that were called in a game was less than half a game. So in other words, to find one of those, you're going to probably have to go to 2 games just to see it happen once. Major leaguers are going to adjust to this. And here's the other thing to consider. Umpires right now are white hot to be on top of this rule. So they're going to be calling it as soon as they see it. As the season goes along, it's going to slow down. It's going to be less of it's just not going to be front of mind. So you're going to see it be, is it close? Okay, he started at 2 or at 1. That's close enough for me. Might have been going to 0 when he started his delivery or whatnot. We're okay. We're going to let this ride. I think that the hitters and the pitchers are going to adjust. But now you mentioned Jose Altuve's wire. To me, there is something else going on in spring training that's way, way more interesting than that. And it has something to do with Altuve and your beloved Astros and their beloved 2017 pitch stealing scenarios. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen this. Do share.
It is the pitch com. It is last year, catchers wore this device where instead of having to give signals with their fingers for the pitcher to know what to throw next, they had this device. They would just press a button, and the pitcher and whatever infielder or whatever other player was wearing this headpiece would get to find out what the pitch was. This and it was fairly successful. In fact, I would say it was extremely successful. Did you know there were teams using it in the World Series?
No.
Phillies used it quite a bit. Zach Wheeler used it, and you didn't even notice, and nor did I. Now this spring training, they have allowed pitchers to wear this device so they can call the pitch, and so the catcher knows and the infielders know. That's going to speed the game up, especially with runners on base. I'm on the mound, you're at second base. When if I've got the ball, I'm ready to call a pitch. My catcher traditionally is going to run through this set of signals to make sure you can't figure out what he wants me to throw. Right? Slowing the game down. Correct?
Yep.
Now the pitcher can just press a button, catcher can nod, bang, we go.
Oh, what is that? What
game.
does this device look like or feel like is what I want to know. Is it like 2 buzzes is a curveball, 1 buzz is a strike? You know what I mean? Or is it like a little tiny monitor? Is it an Apple Watch? What are we
If I
wearing?
understand it correctly, there are buttons on whoever's wearing it, whether it's the pitcher or the catcher, has these buttons that they can push. And it actually has an audio where you hear, the traditional one is fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. But you can also, if I understood this correctly, and I'm sorry, I have not looked at this as deeply as I should have, and I apologize to your listeners for that. But if I understand it correctly, you can have specific audio that it says pretty much whatever you want. And I'm trying to think who the pitcher or the catcher last year was, and I want to say it was one of the the Guardians catchers, who had something like "Bring it," or something like that, and they would have specific audio, and sometimes it was just, that's the stuff for, trying to pump a pitcher up, and it could very well be X-rated for all I know, but I remember that it can be very much attuned to specifically what a specific catcher or pitcher wants to say. To me, this is fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff.
Wow. I mean, this is, I need to know who's going to sharper image and what scout's going to be sitting there with a radar gun, and the other scout's got that, a little satellite dish that had like a little trigger on it in the headphones. You know what I'm talking about? Who's going to be sitting there in the crowd with like a chili dog over top of the satellite, like beaming in to try to disrupt the radio communications? Oh, it'll be that will be fascinating. So I guess the long and short of it, John, is so far we have yielded some good results through spring training. I would imagine, hopefully it'll carry over. I mean, it worked so far. It's so far so good during the 2022 AAA season, cutting their game time by about 25 minutes. I think that is a win. I think 25, 30 minutes, 20 minutes at this point, whatever it takes to help the game kind of move along and kill some of that dead time where really nothing is happening except for a lot of prancing around and adjustments. of one's equipment. Like, what do you like? The long and short, you like it?
The pitch clock, I could give or take it, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it's going to speed up the game. I like the pauses in between because for me, and I'm sure for other people as well, I'm not trying to say I'm the only genius in the world by any stretch. I'm one of many. Sorry. And that just came out of my mouth. My point is, though, that I like to think about what's next. And, you know, does he have him set up for this pitch? Or what will he throw? Or should he double up? Or, man, this pitcher is in trouble. Or, man, this hitter's got a great pitch coming. Or, man, he's in a hole. What can he do here to help his team? To me, I'm engaged in a game, so I like that stuff. I am more worried about the stuff that alters the game. Like, for example, they've changed some of the rules regarding balks and what pitchers are allowed to do. You know, I believe it's Kevin Gausman who's already been told that he's going to have to adjust his windup because now if he does that, it's going to be a balk. Another one is, if you remember last year in the playoffs, Luis Garcia of the Astros, you know, who does the rock the baby. You know the pitcher I'm talking about? He has a very convoluted windup. That's a balk. This year, that's a balk. He just can't rock the baby. He's got to do something different. That's the kind of stuff that concerns me. It kind of bothers me. It's like, why was that legal last year and suddenly it's illegal this year? Or, you know, whether it's we're interpreting a rule differently, well, I don't like that. Or we're changing a rule to affect somebody, I definitely don't like that. That's the stuff that concerns me more than a pitch clock.
He is John Wagner. Find him on Twitter, John Wagner Media. Johan, my friend, as always, thank you. I cannot wait to see what kind of spy equipment and devices you will be using in the near future to combat these MLB changes. Thank you, my friend.
Anthony, I will signal you versus the pitch com so that you know these changes. I hope you and your listeners have a great week.
Always great to catch up with John because he brings, a true, what I would say, baseball traditionalist, true fan of the game. So to pick his mind on something like this that is going to be, it's a big change. It's a big change. And if it's already cutting down, and we don't necessarily, we're not going to shorten the season. That's probably not going to happen, at least in our lifetimes. They're not going to shorten the length of the game. So how do they remove that dead time throughout the course of the game, right? That's really what we're looking for, especially in basketball and hockey where there's constant, every second that goes off the clock, there's typically somebody in motion doing something, right? Baseball without that clock is a completely different sport. But will this speed up some of the time that we see wasted out there throughout the course of the game and keep the average fan more interested in the ball game? We'll step aside. Hour number 3 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go on the court with Tim Stout.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a day for winning. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, it's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com. Final week of the men's Big Ten basketball season is in here for Michigan State. One game on the road, one at home, and one probably not being made up, and that probably would have been a win had it been made up against Minnesota. But that's then, and this is now, and the Spartans' next task is at Nebraska on Tuesday night at the start of the year. That looked like almost a certain win, right? But Nebraska's been hot, 5 out of 6 wins in February, an 11-3 record this season at home, coming off a big win this last Saturday at home over Minnesota. And what do the Spartans have left? After their tough loss Saturday at Iowa, they get right back up, have to go right back on the road out west of Nebraska, where that'll be a raucous crowd, before the home finale at noon Saturday against Ohio State.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep. It can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The new M-Perks is here. Reward yourself with dollars off your purchases, fuel rewards, and more at Meijer. Earn 10 points on nearly every dollar you spend when you shop in-store or on Meijer.com. Then use your points to claim and redeem rewards any way you want. Plus, earn points for every qualifying prescription filled at your Meijer pharmacy. Download the Meijer app to sign up, or if you're already using M-Perks, start earning points and saving today. Save more with M-Perks. Exclusions apply. See Meijer.com to learn more.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Br0's. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness, so be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean-Garter. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean-Garter. BeanGarter.com.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner! To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenny Walker! Touchdown! Spotty! Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes! Caught! Touchdown Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here to X's and Bros. It is hour number 3 on this Wednesday, the 1st of the month, March 1st, 2023. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well, from Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the show at any time. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000. Give us a call on the Meyer Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. Got a couple of text messages here. I could always count on Ryan. Danny has written me off. The host slanders me worse than any other caller. Mr. Michigan Shemmy, wish me a happy birthday before you. I thought you were Mr. Michigan. Who is Shemmy? Who is that? My birthday on the way to work. One oven out. Paid $1,000 to fix it Monday, and still out. So today I start with one oven. I'm having a great birthday. Oh man, yeah. Well, you know, I feel you. We had that. We had the big power outage, right? Dan, Ryan, do you guys lose power at your house?
I have not.
No, I was lucky.
So
Yeah, okay.
my grandma was without power for a few days, and I believe I still have a friend that is still without power.
Yeah, we finally got power back on at Danny's 2 yesterday, and then the minute the power kicked on, it blew one of the compressors to the meat case. So you got that going for us, right? So that happened. So we had to not only without power for Thursday till Tuesday. But also, once it kicks back on, boom, now you got to call somebody, maintenance guy, to come and do a pretty hefty repair job. So yeah, welcome to the world of small business, man. What a good time that is. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Huge news. The Duke Blue Devils, how about this, completed a perfect season. They made history. Duke, at 22-8, fourth in the ACC, went undefeated, a perfect 15-0 at home. That's pretty crazy. Duke's John Shire, by the way, became the first head coach in the ACC to go undefeated at home in his first season. So not too shabby there, replacing Coach K. Alabama's Nate Oates takes the blame for Brandon Miller's TSA intro. That's how they're trying to spin this. They explained to me it's like when TSA checks you before you get on the plane, and now Brandon's clear for takeoff.
Okay, did you watch the video or did you just read the quote?
I've only read the quote.
He is literally reading it.
Oh, you're talking about Nate Oates?
He's reading what they told me is what he's saying, but he's actually reading the quote on a piece of paper in front of him. His eyes are down and he's reading it.
They just look atrocious. That whole program looks absolutely awful. And according to the court documents, Miller knows that it's like You can't play dumb here. He knows there's a gun. He knows he's taking it to the other guy who's being charged but didn't actually fire the shot. Somebody else did.
At what point does Alabama just step in and say Nick Saban runs the basketball program now?
It's a bad look. Bad look. Hey, by the way, shout out to my Toledo Rockets stomping the Central Michigan Chippewas last night. Beat the snot out of them by 34
I'm glad one
points.
of your teams could finally.
Oh, fun joke there. Funny joke there. We're all laughing, aren't we?
Dan is.
No, he's not.
Yes.
Why would you do that, Dan?
Because
Turncoat,
Dan
I say.
is the worst instigator.
I brought it up
of the three of
earlier.
us. Yeah.
I brought it up earlier about the who was the tweet? Oh, Brutus Spartan.
Say, out of the three of us, Dan is the biggest instigator between the Michigan State rivalry.
Toledo beats Central and claims a share of at least their third consecutive Mid-American Conference regular season title. First time in conference history. Team has done that. Could this be the year they make the NCAA tournament? You know what? Usually a little bullish on this stuff. I think this is it. I really do. I think they have the player of the year in Ray J. Dennis. I don't know if he'll get it.
Do you think there's an outside shot of a at-large bid for them if they don't win the tournament?
I don't think so.
Like if it's Kent State Toledo in the MAC final, do you think they would take the loser as well?
Oh man, that would be the first time the MAC's gotten two bids into the NCAA tournament in 20 years. Here's the grand old debate about it, right? Because you put in all this work all season, and if they win the next game, then they win it outright, and everybody goes home happy. If they lose the next game, Toledo, that is, then they share with Kent State. Either way, you have to win the conference tournament because there's going to be, 8, 9 teams from the Big Ten in, and this is the old argument. And I had to explain this to one of my buddies the other night, and they were like, "Well, why wouldn't they?" Because the same question came up, and I said, "Well, here's the deal. Let's say there's a team like, I don't know, Michigan, for example. Let's say Michigan's on the bubble. Are you going to take the Michigan Wolverines into the NCAA tournament, or are you going to give that to Toledo?" And he's like, "Well, if Toledo has the better record." And I said, well, that's one way to look at it. But the other way to look at it is that
that is a good point, though, because
Michigan
that is how it should be looked at. But
Michigan would have a better record too if they played.
Strength of record. What Barlow brought up yesterday is the real thing you got to look into, because you get like Florida Atlantic, who's 23-3, and they're projected to be a 10 seed.
Right, because they're not playing. I mean, they don't play Florida State,
and
they
you
don't
get
play
all
Duke.
those conference tournament winners where it's like Stephen F. Austin, 27-2.
Right, you get so that's the debate. I would like to see the MAC get back to that point. I absolutely would. I think that would be great. It'd be great for college basketball to have more mid-major conferences that are, look at the West Coast Conference. You know what I mean? Like they get St. Mary's, they get Gonzaga. Like why can't the MAC have that? So that's what we're looking for. The Rangers have landed Patrick Kane. So good for Patrick Kane. The end of an era there in Chicago. Lakers expected to reassess LeBron James in 2 weeks. He was with a boot on the bench last night. The Mavs' Kyrie Irving said he needs to scale back the pressure he's putting on himself. He chucked the final shot in the 124-122 loss to the Indiana Pacers. How is it changing the team dynamic? Should Luka Doncic have that shot? All the questions that'll be asked there in Dallas this morning. Nikola Jokic is the sixth player with 100 career triple-doubles. He joins Russell Westbrook with 198, the NBA's all-time leader, followed by the Big O at 181, Magic at 138, Jason Kidd at 107, LeBron James at 106, and now the Joker at 100. The Bengals on T. Higgins trade rumor said, find your own wide receiver. I like that. Buccaneers are going to release running back Leonard Fournette. The Seattle Seahawks are considering drafting a quarterback, although they've had, quote, positive talks with Pro Bowler Geno Smith. Will they draft a quarterback in the first round? Titans GM said he's excited about moving forward with Ryan Tannehill. Oh, man, shouldn't have let A.J. Brown go. The Dolphins have yet to make a call on Tua Tagovailoa's fifth-year option. That might raise your eyebrows. And the Eagles and others are defending the quarterback push tactic that we see on the offensive side of the ball even though the defender can't touch a quarterback, you can assist the runner by pushing him in the back on a sneak sort of play, right? When is too much contact, too much contact? What's this quarterback rule all about? Come on now. Can we at least try to play some defense in 2023? We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
When you're in construction, you know that every minute matters and every dollar counts. You've got materials to purchase, employees to pay, and deadlines to meet. What you don't have is time to worry about your accounting, taxes, or ways to grow your business. That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is construction, our business is helping you run your business better. From tax planning, payroll processing, or R&D credit studies, we're here for you with concrete advice and answers. Let us help you build a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're a subcontractor, developer, architect, or engineer, of all the things you build, make your business the strongest. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dan & Light and Fit or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
You know, we ended up with some action there in the last segment, talking a little bit about two teams being able to get in. The Mid-American Conference football release of schedule for the upcoming 2023 season is supposed to be today as well at 11 a.m. Will they protect the Battle of I-75, and will they protect Central Western? That's what I want to know. Those need to be weekends. They should be on weekends. You can schedule whatever games you want Tuesday night at midnight on ESPN 5. But BG Toledo and Central Western need to be protected. Those are great rivalries. Those are games in which you get great travel from opposing fan bases. It's not often you can get a Mid-American Conference stadium to have 20,000 in it. Why wouldn't we take advantage of that? Why do you want to put two of the best games on a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock in November? It makes no sense. I mean, come on now. Let's use rationale. Let's put our thinking caps on. Chips didn't lose, they ran out of clock. No, they lost. I don't know what the run out of clock thing is. I don't really know where does that stem from? Do you guys know? The run out of time? There are some games where you feel like you were coming back and you ran out of time, like that's legitimate.
I don't know. I feel like that maybe wasn't originally a Patriots thing, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's just a Freddie shade, more Freddie shade, just like Iserman. Steve and I are built for this, Freddie. We're ready for this. All right, we had Michigan State shooty hoops. Speaking of, giving it to the fan base. Luckily for Ryan, I stayed up to watch it. I mean, why wouldn't we? Right? It's 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Why the hell not? Michigan State struggles in the first half. They're down 38-26 and ransacked Nebraska at Nebraska in the second half by a score in the second frame of 54-29. Offensive explosion recently from the Spartans. Where is this coming from, Ryan?
I don't know. I want to know where the defense went. All year, this is one of the better defensive teams in the conference and in the country. And then you have Iowa and that first half of Nebraska where it's just, nothing was working in the first half. MSU, they just weren't moving their feet, weren't trying to guard somebody, getting blown by every opportunity on defense. And offense, they just struggled, settling for long twos. They're open looks, but you're missing all of them. It's like there's even one where, I think it was Malik Hall has a three, guy comes, pump fakes, one step in, misses it, but had a clear open lane. It's like either take 2 steps forward or 2 steps back. Do something to give you better percentages. Either go for the 3 or get a better 2 opportunity. Why are we settling for heels on the 3-point line? That shot is, that's the shot people talk about, what needs to be eliminated from basketball because it's a low percentage, low reward shot.
I like Malik Hall's game, though.
He's okay. He dribbles too much sometimes.
Yeah, you're going to
Gets himself in trouble. Turns the ball over.
You're going to have that from time to time. I would, another impressive night, although overall from the 3-point line, I mean, you shoot over 50% from 3. There's no way you're going to lose that game. And Joey Hauser, who goes 6 of 11, he was fantastic. Malik Hall, who you mentioned, some questionable shots. He was 3 of 8 from the floor, but 2 of 4 from 3.
Jaden
Akins.
Akins had he takes a lot of threes, which is fine because, again, they're open. If you're open, unless your name is Madi Sissoko or even A.J. Hogard, depending what time is left on the shot clock, take them.
I'm glad it's worked out for Jaden Akins. I have been quietly, secretly, maybe not so secretly, rooting for him for everything because of everything that happened throughout his prep years with Bates fundamentals and whatever. I've been rooting for Jaden Akins once he was kicked off that team and Izzo stood by him. You go to Michigan State, you don't really do a whole lot in your first year. But, I think a lot of times we expect, something that's unrealistic. Like the one and done is not the majority. It is a very small, minute percentage of guys that are one and done. And to be honest with you, you could stay for 4 years. And guys like Jaden Akins who could stick around and play a few years, that's better for college basketball than the guy who comes in for 1 year and then jumps ship right away. So I'm happy that it has worked out the way that it has for Michigan State. He's playing in much more meaningful basketball games than the counterpart that whose family kicked him to the curb. And now you got one game left, man. Season comes to a close on the 4th. Can you believe that?
Yeah, on Saturday, which for Michigan State fans, they know the implications of hosting Ohio State on Senior Day, because it was Cassius Winston Senior Day where Chris Holtmann decided to complain about MSU's Senior Day tradition of kissing the floor and taking a timeout. But it's like, you're down by 15. What do you care? Play better then.
Not only that, but like, what are you complaining about? Like, I know that you might be newer to the conference, but it's a Senior Day. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Let them celebrate their Senior Day.
Yeah, and it adds like 2 minutes overall. Nothing much. But
2 minutes for a guy who is, he should have his number retired.
Right. Will have his number retired.
Yeah, got to get Diet Cassius Winston out of there. Can't wear number 5 with a headband now. What's the matter with you? But you gotta allow that kid to have his moment. And him complaining there is just that to me was just I didn't like that at all. And I'm not even a Spartan fan, so I would imagine Michigan State's just going to stick it to Ohio State. There's not going to be much that Ohio State's going to be able to do. So let's get to Dan in Decatur. Wants to talk about Michigan State. Good morning, Dan. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, just what seems different about this team, or at least Izzo's approach, is he has belief in them early. Where a lot of times he's critical of his team early, and he talks about everything they need to work on. This team, from the beginning, he said he felt like he's had something special. But it feels like they're taking a long time to gel. I do like what the offense has done lately, but what do you guys think it's going to take for them to possibly get to a 6 seed? I read something yesterday. The difference between a 7 and a 6 seed is huge to get out of that first weekend. What do you think they got to do to get out of a 7 seed, or better than a 7 seed, I should say?
Well, I don't want to just foreshadow and predict Dan Decatur, man. Appreciate the call. You got to win, obviously, on Saturday. You win on Senior Day. And then I think that the way that the Big Ten tournament is shaking up, I always get a little nervous unless it comes from the actual conference itself.
And you got to check at the end of every day, every night, or the beginning of every day, because especially this year, because right now, I believe is Anthony Broom tweeted out, or one of the Michigan reporters tweeted out, goes, Michigan can be anywhere from the 1 to 9 seed, depending how this week shakes out.
Yeah.
And that's literally teams 1 through 9. Like, I believe Michigan State can work all the way up to 2. I believe that's where Michigan sits at the moment. And Michigan State was sitting at 9 before the game, playing Rutgers in the first round. So,
yeah, here's a tournament picture. According to Swanky Wolverine, big swank here. If the season ends now, games through 228. Michigan State's a 9 seed taking out Rutgers. Winner of that gets Purdue. If that is the case, which obviously this is going to change, if that's the case, Dan in Decatur, they win on Saturday to beat Ohio State. They win their first game in the Big Ten tournament, which, second round potentially. And then if they can get into that third round game, the Elite Eight of the Big Ten tournament there, I think they'd be in pretty good shape. Because their strength of schedule, strength of record, like their Michigan State's going to be, I could see them as a 6 seed. I could see them getting onto that line.
Yeah, if they beat a Purdue or Indiana in the Big Ten tournament.
Oh yeah.
If you beat one of those, then I think it's 6 is good.
Yeah. Right now, Michigan sitting at 2 through yesterday. They would see the winner of Wisconsin or Illinois in that third round. We'll step aside. When we return, little Lions football for you. They hired somebody. One guy's talking about re-signing, and what's the best move Detroit never made? We'll get into that next here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
The new M-Perks is here. Reward yourself with dollars off your purchases, fuel rewards, and more at Meijer. Earn 10 points on nearly every dollar you spend when you shop in-store or on Meijer.com. Then use your points to claim and redeem rewards any way you want. Plus, earn points for every qualifying prescription filled at your Meijer pharmacy. Download the Meijer app to sign up, or if you're already using M-Perks, start earning points and saving today. Save more with M-Perks. Exclusions apply. See Meijer.com to learn more.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Do a bunch of different things, so we went in the lab and we said, would somebody please guard somebody? That's all we did.
Tom Izzo, somebody please guard somebody. Anybody. That's great. Good to hear from coaches.
That's awesome audio.
It's, have a little fun. Does he seem a little more fun this year?
Yeah, let's say he knows when to have his moments.
He's also, been a tough month there, and he is very much like the heart of that school, I feel like. So
oh yeah, he's more famous than the mascot.
Right, he knows when he has to keep it light, I think.
Turn on the fun and smiles a little bit. Look, I get it. As a former fun and smiles coordinator myself, I understand. What we need to do is have a cheerleader pitch a T-shirt to him and have him throw it into the crowd. That'd be great. All right, a couple of Lions notes here. The Detroit Lions are hiring John Fox as a defensive consultant. What do you make of this move? Another addition to the coaching staff. Former Panthers head coach John Fox, which is interesting now, the Carolina to Detroit pipeline here. He's been around since 1989. Defensive backs in Pittsburgh, the Panthers, Broncos, Bears. He's been all over the place. Took some time off from coaching, spent some time with ESPN as an analyst. Went back to coaching as a senior defensive assistant for the Colts under Frank Reich last year. And the Lions are going to use him as a defensive analyst. In 2021, the Lions brought on senior defensive assistant Dom Capers to help out Aaron Glenn, but they were without a senior consultant last year. This year, they got a new D-line coach in John Scott Jr., new corners coach in Dre Bly. So now you have a new sort of oversight, if you will, of the operation defensively. I think it's an interesting move. I don't think that under Dan Campbell you get too many cooks in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? I think that Dan Campbell's kind of like that glue piece that says, all right, this is what we're trying to do. This is what we want to do it. He allows everybody to kind of run their respective department. It does a good job on the oversight there. And then for Aaron Glenn, what kind of relationship will he have with John Fox? Or is bringing John Fox into this maybe a chess piece for a longer play in the event this team succeeds in 2023 and we see Aaron Glenn potentially move on? So
didn't he hold the same position with the different organization this previous season?
In 2021, he was with or last year, he was with the Colts as a senior defensive assistant.
I was just wondering. It's just a very, I don't know, move.
What do they do? What do defensive consultants? What does that mean? Or is this a move for, a position in waiting in the event that Aaron Glenn gets a call and is on the run? Could be. I mean, he had some good interviews this past year. Will Aaron Glenn get an opportunity as a head coach, or will this train continue to roll? Obviously, that's all very much dependent on the success or lack thereof in the upcoming season. Let's get to Dave over in Hudsonville is joining us right now on the Meyer Supercenter guest line. Good morning to you, Dave. How are you, my friend?
Morning, AB. Hey, listen, on your comment with the Lions, I love that move in the sense that, like, Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn are secure enough to bring in another veteran guy who they can, like, just kick it around with. When you have that team who isn't afraid to express, hey, I'd play it this way, I'd do it that way, knowing that, like, Aaron Glenn for defense or Dan Campbell overall is going to be the final decision maker, I think that's the sign of a healthy organization. I don't think he's insecure enough to go out, nor is Aaron Glenn, to get a veteran like John Fox, who's been there, done that, as a DC and as a head coach, in order to bring him in to say, if you can help us get better, that's wonderful.
Yeah, sometimes when you're looking at a puzzle, right, Dave? I mean, you're looking at a puzzle. Sometimes you need an extra set of eyes. And that's what football is. It's a 4-quarter puzzle.
Yeah, and Anthony, I don't care who you look at, whether it's what Mike Garland did for Izzo, what Phil Martelli does at Michigan. What you want is assistants. They're going to be kicking out ideas and challenging you. You don't want a bunch of yes men to your leadership, because you want to see, hey, what's another way to look at this? What haven't I thought of? And when you get those perspectives, then all of a sudden you can make the best decision. And I think when you saw like Hard Knocks last year, those guys aren't afraid to go at each other. You know, whether it's in fun, like Deuce Staley and Aaron Glenn were, or whether it's like, hey, let's do it this way. Because they're competitors. You know, I mean, Glenn and those guys know it's like, hey, we get it done here, and it's about winning and so forth. So they don't mind jostling and they don't mind rumbling a little bit, which I think is really healthy. And then the other thing, man, give me Marcus Mariota as our backup quarterback.
Ooh. Wait a minute. Who'd you say? Who was that?
They just released Marcus Mariota yesterday.
Oh, come on, Dave. You got it. Come on, Dave. Give
us some juice on that.
Come on, Dave. Give us some juice in the name. Come on.
No, seriously.
He won't do it.
He won't do it. Dave, it's Marcus Mariota. That's how. Hey, come on. A little Chris Berman, a little boomer for you.
I thought you were watching the Gus Johnson back to school special, man. You were giving it to Gus Johnson.
I love Gus Johnson. Don't you try to slander Gus on this program.
No, I love me some Gus Johnson too, man. Gus is outstanding. A Detroit product too. But Marcus Mariota can win a game with his legs. He can still throw it. You can get him at a good price. I tell you, if something happens to Goff, who's our number one, Marcus Mariota can step in and still play a different kind of game than Goff can. And I think it strengthens our overall roster tremendously from a backup quarterback standpoint.
All right, so let's say at 6 they go defense, which I think they should do. And at 18's available. That's your pick.
You trade it to the Rams, and you take Jalen Ramsey and give him some stuff.
All right, that's off the table because that doesn't that in my hypothetical trade world here. Would you rather have Marcus Mariota, or do you draft a quarterback there at 18 if a guy like Anthony Richardson from Florida is there?
No, because the quarterback's not going to play for you for 3 years. There's no reason to get a quarterback yet. You're ready to go win a division right now. You need to get yourself a couple of defensive players who can really make a difference because you've got the pieces in place. Mariota ensures us as a backup quarterback that we can still win. You get Jalen Ramsey, who could be a starter and captain on defense if you want to, and then you draft somebody at 6 who can also help the defense.
Bing bong.
I mean, yeah, dogs are barking. Hey, Dave, just give me one Marcus Mariota. Come on.
Marcus Mariota.
I love it, David Huntsville. Love that call. I think that you're right there. I mean, that's this team's ready to win it right now. We're here. We're here. We're on the doorstep. Like the armored vehicles out front. Dan Campbell's, they got the shields are behind him with Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. Dan Campbell's got that battering ram for that NFC North divisional door, and they're ready. They're ready to blow through that door like the feds. I mean, this is the time. They are that close. They were that close last year after starting the season. What, 1-6? 1-7? Where were they? I can't remember that. Was it 1-6 or 1-7?
1-6.
1-6. Like, come on. Like they are that close. That if you can add, and what we saw was Brad Holmes and the way that he drafted. We saw how you have to hit on your first rounders. That's easier said than done, but that you have to be able. You're drafting guys to start on your team today. Who are we going to select that we are going to immediately, like they are good enough to play NFL football right now? That's your first round pick. And if they stay at 6 and 18, if they don't trade, Ramsey's not there, the conversation's kind of heating up a little bit. You know me, it's about the cash. What does that financially look out? Because you're going to have to be able to pay people. But they hit on Aiden Hutchinson. They got their guy. But is equally as important as bringing in a guy like Kaminsky. And then in your later rounds, getting Houston, getting Rodriguez, and those guys playing significant snaps, meaningful minutes. Pascal, when he was available, coming off an injury, like that's where you build your roster. The first rounder is the stud. There's only so many of those. You got a lot of picks in those middle rounds you have to hit on. And I actually really like Marcus Mariota there for a backup. I'd much rather have that. than Carson Wentz. So I'm good with that. And I also like, John Fox is a defensive consultant. Maybe it provides a little bit of insurance. We'll see how this year goes. If it works out really well and Aaron Glenn moves on, boom, you might have somebody to plug and play right away. But also gives you an extra set of eyes and somebody with that sort of head coaching experience that can help Dan Campbell along the way. Sometimes you got to take a step back and say, look, I got, this is what I have. We got to open up these puzzle pieces a little bit and, see if we can get an extra set of eyes to take a gander. Now, Alex Anzalone said that there have been talks with the Detroit Lions. They've got some preliminary discussions that are ongoing. Would the Lions re-sign the veteran linebacker who obviously, really came into his own last year, but you do have a couple of young linebackers that, showed a little bit of promise. Here you have a guy who, I think that this move here all comes down to price tag. And if he's looking for a raise from his $2.25 million contract with some more long-term security in an NFL contract, free agency officially opens up on the 15th. If they had that conversation, then that's a huge positive. And they obviously have some faith in what he can do, but at the end of the day, everything comes at a price, right? And, veteran leadership is something, Michael Brocker's another guy. Like, veteran leadership matters. You have to have people in your locker room that can help other people become pros. And if they're like Anzalone and they can do that in the linebacker room, but they can also go out there and contribute, that is very much important as well. Now I want to get to the best. I saw this yesterday, and this is the best move that the Detroit Lions they never made. And a lot of times, people will get chastised for some things that the Lions did do, some things that they haven't done. I think that ownership is all in. Sheila Hamp she seems to repairing that relationship with Calvin. One of the little things, open up the checkbook in order to make sure the assistants are paid. And opportunities like bringing on defensive consultants, like that. There is a commitment, I feel, to winning at a level that maybe Lions fans had not seen in the past. But a couple of years ago, a guy was up for an extension, and what were we going to do? And we decided not to pay him. Hit the free agency market, got a big deal. Wow. And by big deal, I mean $40.4 million in 2 seasons. Now, the Giants have released their wide receiver, Kenny Golladay. First day of the league year, March 15th. So that we know that much is for certain. By waiting until the 15th, they saved $6.7 million against their salary cap. Kenny Golladay, however, will receive a $4.5 million cash roster bonus per their release. He earned $40.4 million in 2 seasons, catching 43 passes. Almost $1 million per reception. Can you imagine that? Like, how much money does it take? My goodness.
Well, gosh, I think it was Kenny Daniels put into perspective. Jake Wallman's average game is now $41,000. It's like, that's pretty nice.
I mean, and that's Jake Wallman, because he's at average annual
3.9 or something.
Yeah, just shy of 4. So if you're making $8 million a season, you're getting almost $100,000 a game. If you're somebody like Dylan Larkin, he's looking for $100,000 a game. He's playing 20 minutes. That's crazy. That is crazy. But, I mean, that's shoot. I don't even look at some of those NBA contracts. Make you sick to your stomach. Good to see. Hey, by the way, Buckeye Spartan got back to me. Bro, brutal. I had to lay low for a while. To be honest, I was taken out of context. Oh, well, I have risen like a phoenix. Welcome to the world of social media. And, yeah, for a guy like Buckeye Spartan who's trying to troll me over Central Michigan and beating the Michigan Wolverines earlier in the year, which is a despicable loss. I mean, we beat Ohio State and Michigan State in football and in basketball. So, I mean, I would be the last person I'd be talking to be honest with you. I
love that you have befriended him.
Or
they could be a female. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just call him until we get corrected, right? He called me bro. I'll call him dude. Look, I befriend everybody on Twitter. Like, that's what it is. Even your OG Weck or whatever his name is, the Illini guy.
OG Anunoby?
No, not the guy from Toronto. I'm talking about the Illinois Twitter guy.
The
guy
golf ball whacker guy?
Amazing golf ball whacker guy. He told me that he's rich and I'm poor because he was at the Big Ten Conference tournament.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sitting in the 5th row and telling me all kinds of slander. And I hadn't heard from him in a while, so I did a wellness check on him. He's like, yeah, man, I'm doing good. Just trying to enjoy the season. We had a great conversation on Twitter. That's the thing. I'm not ever going to get bent out of shape. It's not gonna get me to the point where I'm gonna lose my mind. I don't care how stupid these people on the internet get. It doesn't bother me. Brutus Sparty is I'm sure he's a wonderful human being. And I'm sure if we went out one night, he would buy me all the beer I could drink. Even though I don't drink a whole lot of beer, I'm sure he'd be willing to purchase a couple of Mick Ultras for your boy, right? That's great. Good for him. And good for me. And let peace carry on. Even Freddie this morning. Nobody throws the subtle shots like Freddie, right? And God bless Freddie. I gave him one right back on his birthday today. To a real Michigan man, Freddie the Pizza Man. Happy birthday and go blue, baby. I know you're enjoying it. I know you are. I hope Mr. Harbaugh stops in and grabs a pizza. Either Coach Harbaugh or his dad or a senior can roll through and pick up a pizza. Why not? That's always good. But back to the Lions real quick here before we close things down. It feels like there have been moves that have been made and steps that have been taken that I don't know if fans from yesteryear could say this is the same old. We didn't overpay for Kenny Galladay. We kind of went on a little bit of a flyer for a head coach that wasn't a retread from somewhere else. Right? Sure, the first season was rough, but we saw those glimmers of hope in the last 6 games. And even when people wanted to fire him in the first 2 months of this year, they wanted to just burn it all to the ground and start over. Look at the way the team finished the year. On the doorstep of the playoffs. They're right there. Dave in Hudsonville, I think that's probably the best call I've heard in a while. That, if they could trade 18 for Jalen Ramsey and you could figure out the money so it doesn't cripple your salary cap, okay. I'm good with it. They know him better than I do. Great. Now you have him. You have Big Curb. You have, why is his name coming off of injury? Why is his name slipping me? Tracy Walker, Jerry Jacobs, Jeff Okuda, right? Do you get another defensive back in the draft? At some point, probably. It's a pretty deep class there. So I feel like they are taking all the necessary steps to be able to get a guy like Marcus Mariota to provide that insurance there in the event something catastrophic happens. I think it's a pretty good plan. I think there's a lot of good reason to have a lot of faith in this ownership group right now. That's all for us here today. We'll see you tomorrow on a Thirsty Thursday. Same time, same place, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Do it for the love of money. Saturdays in February, 7 to 11 p.m. Winners choose $3,000 in premium play, $1,500 cash, or 1,500 entries into the February 25th drawing for a Chevy Camaro ZL1. For the love of money, $130,000 giveaway. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The new M-Perks is here. Reward yourself with dollars off your purchases, fuel rewards, and more at Meijer. Earn 10 points on nearly every dollar you spend when you shop in-store or on Meijer.com. Then use your points to claim and redeem rewards any way you want. Plus, earn points for every qualifying prescription filled at your Meijer pharmacy. Download the Meijer app to sign up, or if you're already using M-Perks, start earning points and saving today. Save more with M-Perks. Exclusions apply. See Meijer.com to learn more.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FreddyThePizzaman@gmail.com.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Br0's. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness, so be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean-Garter. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean-Garter. BeanGarter.